everyone, I'm Allie with Potomac Beads, and I wanted to go over today with you something that's very important to everyone in the beading world, which is, and really everybody that wears jewelry. It's how to actually care for and maintain your jewelry. So I know this is really difficult for some people, myself included. I am always drawn to just kind of throw my things in a pile on top of the sink and not actually put things away, but definitely your jewelry will last longer and stay nicer if you care for and take care of it properly. Some of those techniques might be for sterling silver, for gold filled, for 14 karat gold, but there's also tips for your check glass and for beads and for your Swarovski crystals as well. So how do you maintain those things? The number one thing to realize is that your jewelry is jewelry. Most of it is fine jewelry, and it does take time to make and manufacture, and it's going to be a material, whether or not it's glass or stone or metal. It requires some care and some maintenance. If you're looking at something that is 14 karat gold, you may want to just clean it with an actual gold cleaner or take it into a warm bath with a little bit of Dawn soap. I know I take my wedding rings regularly and use a soft bristled brush with it after letting it soak in some Dawn mixed with water for about 5 to 10 minutes. You can scrub through and get some of the surface dirt off that way. In addition to that, you can take different cleaners, like some of our jewelry cleaner here. We have the liquid precious metal jewelry cleaner. This is formatted, especially as it says, for metals. It smells and it is smelly, but it is awesome stuff. So this cleaner actually cleans 14, 18 karat gold, sterling silver, platinum, copper. It gives a nice bright shine to it. You spray it on, you kind of wait a little bit, and then you rinse it off, and you have a nice soft polishing cloth, like a Shine Right cloth here, that can work with and actual clean the actual surface of the material. You can also use these cleaning cloths when they don't have something on them to actually clean your pearls. Pearls are going to be something that, again, you don't want to use a jewelry cleaner solution, so do not use your liquid jewelry cleaner. And some different gemstones, you don't want to use your liquid jewelry cleaner as well. You can always do a simple Google search and read up what is the best method and the best way to care for the different types of stones that you may be using. If you are using sterling silver, I would suggest actually getting some of these anti-tarnish tabs. They're really great. They're a really, really simple thing. You throw them into a bag or in with your jewelry. When you are thinking about sterling silver or silver in general, it's also a good idea to put it either into an airtight container or to put it into an actual plastic bag. Many things that we get and we send are actually going to be a plastic bag. Take the label off, keep the label on, but you can individually put into that a pair of earrings, a necklace, a bracelet. Close that up. What that's going to do is keep the air from getting onto the piece, and anything that's silver will naturally tarnish. The more you wear it, your natural body oils will actually clean the sterling. But if you keep an anti-tarnish sheet in it, or you actually go through and do a polishing cloth, or you can do some precious metal liquid cleaner, you can brighten up your silver. Keep in mind that some things are going to be plated, and the plated items may not like the actual precious liquid jewelry cleaner. What I say is, if you have a piece that has an actual plating to it, a clasp, a closure, an ear wire, try a little section of it or a piece that's not included in the actual piece of finished jewelry. Try that out and then go in and try out the different cleaners with it. So that way you make sure that you're not ruining a piece that you may have. When it comes to keeping things kind of untangled and things nicer, you can keep them in their own individualized bag, whether or not it's something made with check glass or gemstones or precious metal. When traveling, sometimes this is a kind of great little trick and tip. You can use a traveling jewelry kit or a jewelry pouch. A cosmetic bag will often keep your jewelry nice when traveling. However, this is kind of a nice simple thing you can do, is you can take a straw, if you have a chain jewelry in particular, cut it down to whatever size you need it to be, take your chain through it, and then you can simply connect the ends. So you can see here I have it in a straw. I need to cut about 3 inches off, and then that will keep it from actually going in and taking this ball chain here and tangling up. In addition to an actual straw, you can use a piece of tin foil, lay out your jewelry, especially if it's beaded jewelry, it also won't affect it. Lay out your jewelry, wrap it in the tin foil so that way there's no actual tangling or anything like that as you're traveling and as you're moving with jewelry. It's always a good idea to keep your jewelry in a dry and rather tepid place. You don't want to actually keep it anywhere where there's a lot of water. Your jewelry does not want to be sitting right by the sink because the water can affect the jewelry. Again, it is jewelry. It's made to be worn and enjoyed, but it's not made to be worn, a lot of it, during physical activity or mowing the grass or cleaning up the backyard, things like that. You want to keep in mind that it is jewelry. When it comes to jewelry preservation as well, when you're looking at check glass or something with a coating, you can also do things like this new permalac that we have, and this is going to be painted onto the actual glass beads to make sure that their finish and their luster stays on. This happens to be a matte one. You can also get a semi-gloss as well. So this can be painted on to not only make a piece hypoallergenic if you're doing ear wires, but to keep the luster and the lacquer on some of those coated actual glass beads. One of the other things that you're going to have a lot in your jewelry, especially if you make jewelry, is going to be crystals. And whether or not you have crystals like my earrings here, or Swarovski crystals, or things that are bezeled, you want to keep in mind that if you want to, you can paint the backing of them with this here if they have that silver coating or silver backing, because that can scratch off since it is applied to glass. To clean your Swarovski or your old crystals or your Potomac crystals, you can also use just a simple mixture of a little bit of watered down window cleaner. Actually, Windex is pretty soft, and you can use some of that, and that will actually shine up some of those vintage crystals. Again, you want to make sure that you're not taking off any of the extra coating or any aftermarket coating that may be put on there. So test a little bit with any sort of jewelry before you go in and use a polishing cloth or any extra little precious metal jewelry. And then again, store your jewelry nicely. So keep in mind that your jewelry doesn't want to hang out with all of the other pieces of jewelry, because that's going to put more pressure on it and more chance of it tangling, of it hitting against another thing. I've broken stones on some of my jewelry because I've thrown it into a jewelry box and it actually hits against another stone and they break each other because, again, they are glass, they are stone, and it is metal. It is not indestructible, and it's not something that cannot break. When things look fragile, chances are they are fragile. So if you have a really thin chain with a couple crystals hanging on it, like I do here, make sure that you're maintaining it and that you're using kind of a regular rotation of cleaning the product, checking the jump rings in the back, and checking the durability of the jewelry itself. So my number one suggestions when doing the different jewelry cleaning and jewelry storage is to actually keep the jewelry in its own separate individual area. Whether or not you're putting your earrings on like an earring tree, you can put each pair into a plastic bag. You can even recycle. You can also even put some little charms or beads into some tubes that we send jewelry to you in and beads to you in. Keep them from commingling and from interacting with one another. Keep them in their little jewelry bags. Keep them in the plastic bags. Keep them in containers. When you travel, you can keep them in individual pill containers. Those different pill containers for the month are great for earrings, especially if you have a mixture of posts and dangles. And by keeping them separated, that's going to keep them nicer for a longer period of time. Those metal jewelries, make sure that you are cleaning them and maintaining them every couple months. If you have fine jewelry, you'll want to go to a jewelry store. You can actually get them cleaned as well. When in doubt, different ways to clean and maintain different stones and different jewelry, do a simple Google search, and you can search for the hardness of a stone, for the durability of a glass, for the backing of a crystal, and figure out the best way to clean the material that you're doing. Keep in mind also, cleaning and soaking will affect some of the stringing material or things that you have the actual piece of jewelry combined and made with. So keep that in mind as you're selecting and figuring out which ways to keep, store, and clean your jewelry. I want you guys to comment below and interact with this Better Beader episode, showing the ways that you have, the simple ideas that you have for storage, the ways that you store, some tips and techniques that you have maybe learned along the way, because we all have tons of jewelry. We want to wear it, and we want to make sure that it stays nice for as long as possible. There are some instances where you'll have a jump ring open or a clasp open or a bead or a button or a clasp break, and you want to make sure that that doesn't get into a tangled knot in the bottom of your jewelry box along with all of the others there, and kind of have that survivor episode there of the bottom of trying to untangle and getting apart the jewelry. Keep in mind, the nicer you keep it, even those that need to be repaired, keep them independent, keep them separate, and go ahead and repair them all at once. That way you're not getting those tangled as well. So have a section where you can keep your jewelry, where you can organize it so that way it is individually kept and maintained and not interacting with the other pieces with it. And then you can easily too go in and offer it some cleaning on periodic times. You can put in some of those anti-tarnish strips if you need to, and that'll help to maintain and keep your jewelry nice. Again, if you'd like to become interactive with this, you can like this YouTube video, as well as comment below, again, your tips, your techniques, your tricks for doing some of those different things, different ways that you can clean things using a couple drops of ammonia for some of those metals, as well as Dawn, or what your favorite things are to clean and maintain and polish as well. As always with these Better Beader episodes, you can also subscribe to this YouTube channel. We'll give you regular updates on things that we think will be helpful for you, like this Better Beader episode, as well as new designs, ideas, and techniques that you might want to learn along the way. You can also join us in this conversation, as well as the other Better Beader episodes and our other YouTube videos, to help other community members that may be struggling or want additional ideas how to improve their jewelry experience. As always, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your jewelry, and make sure that you're getting the best life out of your jewelry by making sure that you're maintaining it properly and maintaining it well.